Hi there, I'm Tony Grant and this is Learn English with Tony, a weekly podcast to improve your listening skills and grow your English vocabulary. Join me for a new episode every Friday where I'll give a short talk on a theme and explore a few interesting words and phrases for you. If you lost your mobile phone, how long would it take for you to notice? Could you get through a whole day without reaching into your pocket for it? A couple of hours? If you're a really serious case of phone addiction, perhaps you would struggle to get through 10 minutes without it. As the famous quotation from NASA's 1970 Apollo 13 mission to the moon goes, "Houston, we have a problem." I'm old enough to remember clearly the days when there were no smartphones. In fact, I'm old enough to remember a time in life when I didn't even have a mobile phone. But these days, I'm as much a prisoner of the phone as the next person. If I want to check the news, I reach for my phone. When I go out for a run, I track it on the Strava fitness app. Need a taxi? Well, there's an app for that. Want to know what the weather's going to be like tomorrow? There's an app for that too. Trying to find my way around a city like Tokyo on foot would be almost impossible without Google Maps and a phone signal. Don't get me wrong, I think I could manage without it all, but it certainly wouldn't be easy. This week, almost 40 million Japanese people got the chance to find out how they would manage, whether they would sink or swim. One of the big three Japanese telcos, or telecommunications companies, suffered the largest system failure in its history. For more than 2 days, a signal outage meant that their customers couldn't make voice calls or access the internet. That word outage is a noun that describes a period of time where a service is not available. We often use it to talk about things like electricity, networks or signals. So we might say, for example, that there was a power outage, or that the country suffered a serious signal outage. And that's what happened this week in Japan, except it affected almost 40 million people. We can all imagine the frustration of being unable to make calls or get online. But in this case, the problem went far beyond individuals not able to connect to their social media. It was quite interesting to see the variety of situations and critical infrastructure where this caused problems. So let me run through a few of them briefly here. One Tokyo bank lost the use of its network of ATM machines, which meant that its customers were unable to withdraw their money over the weekend. Now that could be a real blow to your weekend plans. One major delivery company reported that it wasn't able to deliver parcels for customers at drop-off lockers in places like train stations, and they couldn't contact their customers to let them know. The Japanese Meteorological Agency, the agency that collects and provides data on the weather, said that its automated data collection system was not able to collect real-time data on temperature, rainfall, wind direction, or humidity. With a typhoon approaching the coast of Japan, you can imagine the sort of problems that could have caused across the country. 2 people who went climbing in the mountains and got into serious trouble over the weekend weren't able to call the mountain rescue services for help. Luckily, one of them was still able to access a messaging app's emergency voice call function, and they eventually got rescued. In one prefecture, public health officials say they were not able to check up on patients who were self-isolating and recovering at home with COVID-19. Perhaps even more concerning was the fact that many people couldn't make emergency calls from their phones. With the country suffering its most major heat wave in the last 150 years at the moment, and many people needing to be taken to hospital with heat stroke, this could have been a huge public health issue. And the list of problems goes on. Of course, whenever we rely on technology, there'll always be the possibility of problems. Things happen, and they can't always be predicted. In this case, the telco worked hard to fix the outage as quickly as they could, and everything is now back up and running again. But the signal outage made headline news for days, and it was a real illustration of how much we need our mobile phones these days, not just as individuals, but as a society. There's a lot to think about there. So, to finish for today, let me ask you about your own lives. Have you ever suffered a signal outage, or even just lost your phone for a while? What were the biggest problems you experienced with it? Okay, I think I'm going to head out for a walk without my phone. Wish me luck. Anything could happen. Wait, do I really want to do this? Oh no. Houston, we have a problem. Thank you for listening to Learn English with Tony. If there's a topic you'd like me to talk about in a future episode, just send an email to learnenglish.mobile@britishcouncil.org, and remember, stay safe everyone.